So it's now marathon week, which means I'm going to do this video based on what my taper is going to be and my goals for the Geneva Marathon, and then I'm just going to do like at the end of the day of eating on Wednesday of race week, just so you can kind of see the sort of things that I'm eating. So I usually do a 2-week taper. Some people do a 3-week taper, but basically my last kind of major long run is 2 weeks before the marathon, and then I've got 1 full week and obviously race week as my 2 weeks of taper. So what I did was 121 kilometers in my kind of last major week, and then reduced that down each week ever since. So yeah, that 121 kilometers finishes up with my kind of last marathon block session. So that session actually didn't go to plan. I was planning to do 6 blocks of 5k. It was quite a windy day and I just let my mind kind of beat me. So I did 28 kilometers overall out of what was meant to be 35. But then later that evening I just sort of got in my head that I just wanted to sort of make up for it. So I did a 6k kind of high end of threshold, so like quite fast, near LT2. And yes, I just did 6k quite fast. So overall for that day I did 34 kilometers, which is kind of around where I wanted to be anyway. I was going to do 35, but yeah, so that was kind of not the best way to finish up the block. But anyway, I think basically through this block I've done quite heavy mileage and a lot of speed work and stuff. So yeah, I think basically the body just didn't have it in it, and it needed this taper. So yeah, 2-week taper. First week I dropped down to doing 88 kilometers, so kept up my kind of usual routine. So Monday rest day, Tuesday was easy. Wednesday I swapped it from just being a kind of a tempo or threshold workout to a track workout. So that workout was 5 by a mile at 3:30 per kilometer pace. I was giving myself a minute and 40 seconds rest in between. Then I went into 400 meters, which is a lap of the track, aiming for around 75 seconds per rep. And then for 200 meters, and that one was more based on like the pace that I was hitting. So I was trying to get into the 2:30 per kilometer pace. The idea that is just kind of finish the session strong, finish fast, and then hopefully I can maybe translate that into the marathon itself. If I can do a negative split, which I'm hoping, but yeah, you never know. So yeah, swap the track session from Friday to Wednesday. It just gives me more time to recover, and it's also the fact that that was kind of the last really heavy session that I was going to do. So yeah, basically that's the idea behind doing it then. So another easy run on the Thursday, and these are kind of shorter than what I've usually been doing, and the speed work is much less volume than what I've been doing before as well. So that's the idea of the taper. I'm still keeping those sessions in that first week, but yeah, just reduce volume basically. They kind of say within like 10 days is the maximum time out from the marathon that you know you might gain the benefits from these sessions. So yeah, that's why again I moved that one to the Wednesday. So on the Friday, I'm still in 2 minds actually about which shoes I'm going to wear. So I have the Adios Pro 4s and I've got the Alpha Fly 3s. I've worn the Alpha Flies for the Florence Marathon before. I've only worn the Pro 4s for a half marathon before. So yeah, I'm weighing up whether to stick with Alpha Fly or go with the Pro 4. So what I did on Friday was 2 3-kilometer blocks at marathon pace in each pair of shoes, just to see what it felt like. And yeah, didn't make my mind up. I was hoping that I'd feel a big difference in one pair or the other, but yeah, ultimately I think it probably doesn't matter too much which pair I actually go with. But yeah, that was that session on the Friday, and then on the Saturday, so I changed my long run to be Saturday rather than Sunday. And the Saturday I basically did 25 kilometers, and every 3 kilometers I just progressed my speed. So again, just zoning in on a negative split there, but it was relatively easy paces. So I think I finished up I think in around like 4 minutes per kilometer or so, or 4:05. So not even hitting marathon pace. It's just meant to be kind of nice and easy. Like I said, I probably won't get the adaptations from that. So yeah, didn't want to go too fast on that one. And then Sunday just took a rest day. So that's something I don't usually do. But yeah, so then moving into this week, and I did run on Monday, which I don't usually do. and Tuesday both just easy days, no strides, no nothing. Wednesday yesterday was a total rest day. Well, I did just do kind of 35 minutes on the indoor bike, very easy effort, so kind of not a proper workout or anything, just just taking over. Today's Thursday, so today I'm going to do a 40-minute run. So the previous 2 runs this week were an hour each, but I'm reducing that down, so I'll do about 35-ish minutes easy, and then finish the last 5 minutes or so will involve strides. So I'll probably do something like a 20 seconds on, 30 seconds off kind of thing with the strides, and that'll be my Thursday run. Friday's travel day, so I'm not running at all on Friday, so another rest day. And then Saturday I'll do a shakeout, so about 20 minutes easy, and then I'll do strides again to finish, so up to 5 minutes of strides, probably less than that to be fair. Maximum of 25 minutes for my shakeout on a Saturday, and then Sunday's race day. So that's how the taper goes. So far this week I've only done 24-25 kilometers, so in total before the race I'll have done maybe 38 kilometers or so, 38 to 40-ish kilometers overall. So quite a low week, half what I did the week before, even less than half, and then into the race on Sunday. So then moving on for my race goals, so I do have kind of a long-term goal. I want to hit a 2:40 marathon. I've been chasing it for a while, and something's always gone wrong. But yeah, in this one I'm kind of not fully sure yet. It'll probably depend how I feel on the day and what I finally end up going for, but I'm thinking of starting out at a 3:55 pace, which would be a 2:45:16 marathon, if I held that the whole way, and then I'll either aim to increase speed, maintain speed, or reduce speed, depending on how I'm feeling. It is set to be like 18 to 20 degrees from the start of the race, so it's going to be quite a hot one. I'm not used to the hot weather, obviously being in Newcastle, so that will obviously have an impact. I am at the best at getting water down when running, so yeah, basically I'm hoping that I don't get any stitches or cramps or anything like that. But yeah, aiming to take in the water probably every water station, get my gels in every 25 to 30-ish minutes. I'm going to use SIS beta fuel gels and see how they go on, and I'll probably mix them with some beetroot gels as well. Beetroot has nitrates, which basically help your body work less hard for the same effort level, according to research anyway. And yeah, so I'll probably mix between those 2 gels, and that'll be about 60 to 70 grams of carbs per hour. If I go 2 beta fuel gels, it'd be 80 grams of carbs an hour. So that should be more than enough to get me through, especially if I'm doing less than 3 hours. So then another issue with the gels is that I usually wear shorts, so I wear Nike Lava Loop trail shorts, which can actually hold a ton of gels, so they have loads of pockets, and that's the reason I wear them. But obviously it's going to be quite warm, and they are quite a warm pair of shorts, so I'm debating whether to wear a pair of Aeroswift shorts as well, which are just a lighter version of shorts. It's the ones that like Kipchoge would wear in a marathon. So yeah, I'm debating wearing them, and I have an arm strap that I could put the gels in, but I haven't been training with that. Last time I used that was like 2 years ago, so yeah, I'm weighing that one up, and again haven't made the decision, so I'll bring it all along with me and sort of decide on the day. But yeah, I'll be carrying 6 to 7 gels probably, and they'll fit in the armband, but probably not as snugly as they fit in the shorts, because there's so many different pockets. I can put them all in different places. But yeah, I'm also debating which singlet to wear, so I usually wear kind of a slightly heavier just running vest. It's not really a racing singlet, but I also do have an Aeroswift racing singlet. So yeah, if it's warmer temperatures I might wear that, but I have kind of gotten a bit of a logo printed up on the running vest, so debating wear that either. But yeah, basically running outfit still also hasn't been decided. Everything basically will come down to how I'm feeling on the day, and yeah, how I feel the weather is affecting me. But overall goal is I would be delighted with a 2:45 marathon. I'd be delighted just with a PB. I'm basically coming off a block where I couldn't run for a month or so after the Florence Marathon, and and then I was kind of slow getting back into it, so I was only doing like 20-kilometer weeks, which is nothing to me when I was first returning. So yeah, I've probably had overall a 12-week block of actually training towards it, but yeah, in the beginning that I wasn't even kind of marathon specific training or anything. So yeah, I didn't really have a period of big base building or anything beforehand. So yeah, I'm not too sure if I'm as fit as I was back in Florence, but I think the workouts I've been doing this time have been a bit more specific to the marathon than what I was doing back then. So I'm hoping that will make up for the fact that I'm maybe not as fit. But yeah, it's the kind of thing where I'll only kind of find out on the day how I perform. So yeah, anything that will be a PB I'll be delighted with, and then later in the year I'll be able to move, hopefully find another marathon to do that I'll be confident of getting more towards my long-term goals, that 240. But going out from the start, I'll be hoping for 245, and we'll go from there and see how we're getting on. So then during the marathon itself, I won't want too much information from my watch. I will be able to see my average pace, my current pace for the lap. So rather than checking my average pace overall, I think if I just have it for the lap, it's just more beneficial information. But I don't want to worry too much about my individual kilometer stats. So what I do is set my watch to 5 kilometer intervals rather than 1 kilometer. So it'll only notify me every 5 kilometers. I can then, if I'm coming up to a 5 kilometer sign, either before or after that, I can sort of adjust the split. I can just press the split button myself to make sure that I'm actually getting kind of accurate timings. Obviously the GPS may not be 100% accurate. But yeah, so basically every 5 kilometers I'll be checking in what my average pace is rather than going kilometer by kilometer. It's a relatively flat marathon, pretty much all flat. So I won't have to worry too much about inclines, declines, whatever. So hopefully able to hold the pace a bit steady, and not have to worry too much anyway about the individual kilometers. So yeah, basically start out at 355 per kilometer. If I end up being able to increase to an average of around 350 per kilometer, that'd be in the high 241s. And if I had to drop back to a 4-minute average, I'd finish in 248.47, which would be a 20-second PB. So yeah, I take that. So then that's basically the taper covered. That's the race plan covered and goals. And what I'll kind of now do is skip into, I've been recording my meals yesterday, Wednesday, and I'll just show you what each of those meals were. So I did also explain in that video that I may actually have to change kind of my eating before the marathon. So usually what I do is have like a bowl of rice or pasta. It's not exciting, but it's obviously good carbs, and I'd have that about 3 hours before the race starts. This time around, the room that I've booked turns out doesn't actually have a stove, which I thought it did. So what I might have to do is eat something like porridge and maybe a bagel beforehand. I ate porridge before the Dublin one in October and had no issues, so I might just stick with that. But the problem is, that was something I was able to make at home, whereas this one I'll probably have to get those tubs of porridge and pour kettle water in and make it from there. So breakfast situation haven't fully worked out. Usually the day before as well, I'll be loading up on rice and pasta, and this time around probably have to go get food rather than cooking myself. So the accommodation has changed my eating plan a little bit, but yeah, it's just something different, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, breakfast beforehand, probably porridge, maybe a bagel or something, maybe a bit of honey, but that's about it. So yeah, onto the eating for yesterday, and probably as time goes on, I'll be having kind of less protein and fats and more just carbs as much as I can, probably from tomorrow onwards, so Friday onwards, and then into Sunday. So if you've been watching along the training, hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's been insightful, and hopefully next video you see, I'll be celebrating a new PB. So 2 last things before I move on to the day of eating. I was just talking about what I'll eat on race day and maybe the day before, and I'm actually gonna probably have one of these. This is Morton 320 carb mix. I've bought 2 of these in between making those clips. I just went out of the shop and got these. I've been looking for them in the shop for a while, but hadn't seen any, but just saw them today. So yeah, each of these are 79 grams of carbs, and like no fat, no protein or anything in these. So it's all carbs. So yeah, the day before I'll have at least one of these, maybe 2. It depends on what else I'm able to get my hands on for carb loading the day before. But yeah, that's gonna be an easy solution to one of my issues anyway. And then just thought I'd do a little reveal on the kind of logo racing vest that I'll probably be using for a lot of events. Whether or not I use it for this one, I don't know. But yeah, I've basically got this one printed. So here we go, so you can kind of see it there. So I've got my kind of Irish colours there, just to represent, I guess. And yeah, obviously the YouTube name, little logo of me running along the River Tyne. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. The person who did it doesn't yet have a website, but when they have a website, I'll be putting that in the description of my videos. But yeah, really happy with my running vest, and I'll be using that in the future, and possibly on Sunday. So yeah, just thought I'd add that little detail. And yeah, now on to what I eat in a day. So here's the first meal of the day. So I promise all the meals aren't as weird as this one, but it works for me. So this is just a bit of butter on toast and some of this beetroot on top. So I'm kind of starting to preload the body with beetroot, which contains nitrates, which basically makes the body have to work a bit less for the same effort. So yeah, starting to get a bit of beetroot into the body, which is what this meal is kind of focused around. And then I'll have a couple of these little beetroot and balsamic rice cakes as well. So overall, a good few kind of carbs in this meal, a little bit of protein and fibre and stuff in the bread and that, and obviously the beetroot, and yeah, so just a decent meal. It probably tastes better than you would think it tastes. I particularly like this stuff you get in Tesco. But yeah, it doesn't taste as weird as you would think, and obviously beetroot is quite good for endurance sports. So here's the second meal of the day. So usually I'd make my own porridge, and for a race I'd usually kind of have pasta or rice in the morning, but for this one, turns out the hotel room I booked doesn't have a stove, so having to change plans. So I'm just trying out these kind of pre-made porridges. So yeah, just basically there's a kettle in the room, so yeah, I'm gonna see how I react to these, and possibly gonna use this as my breakfast on the morning of the race. So yeah, it's just a porridge, and there's like 35 grams of carbs or something in this, and I might top that up then if I'm using this on race day with like a bagel or something. But yeah, so just practicing that, and second meal of the day. So this is dinner. So it's rice with fish on top, and a bit of a honey soy sauce put over the fish, and stuff like turmeric in there to reduce inflammation, and then just a bit of veg on the side. And then I'm going to put that beetroot in with the rice as well, just to get those nitrates in as well. So that's dinner for today. So last snack meal of the day is a scone with a bit of jam on, and then a bowl of fruit, just raspberries, blueberries, and a bit of yogurt on top. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.